Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, students. Only 23 students have joined till now. So I'm waiting for other people to join. Yesterday, some 79, I think. So all the students don't write any name, just write your roll number without any space. Just your roll number, write your roll number only. Don't give space or extra names after your roll number. Just write your roll number only. is 74. Remove name after your roll number. Ravi Kiran, just remove your name after your roll number. So yesterday we discussed about recursion. So we have single recursion is there, then different types of recursions are there. Recursion means a function calls itself, we call it as a recursion. So different types of recursions are there, that is single recursion, multiple recursion, direct recursion, indirect recursion. Okay, so coming to the direct coming to the single recursion, so recursion that only contains a single self-reference, we call it as a single recursion. Example is factorial function. And recursion, then multiple recursion means recursion that contains multiple self-references, we call it as a multiple recursion. Example for multiple recursion is Fibonacci series. Then we move to the next one is direct recursion. So algorithm, for example, algorithm A is said to be direct recursive. If it calls itself, we call it as a direct recursive. And indirect recursive, when an algorithm A is said to be indirect recursive, if it calls another algorithm, which in turn calls A, that is we have two functions are there, function A and function B. So inside of function A, in function A, we inside what we write the function B, then we call the function B, then again it move to the function A. That function we call it as, that type of recursion we call it as indirect recursion. Okay. So see this example, actually I already explained. This is the function calls itself, we call it as a direct recursion. Here we call inside function A, this is the function A. Inside we write the function B. Okay, after in B we again call the function A. So this type of recursion we call it as indirect recursion. Okay. Next, here we already told you, here we have every recursive algorithm has two elements. For if you write an algorithm, if you want to write algorithm for recursive, you just identify two elements. That is, what is the base case and what is the general case. Okay, so already explained this example. If you want to write an algorithm for the print odd positive integers, so in this case my base is 1 if odd positive 2, and the general case is k plus 2. Okay, so this is in this see here, if one is odd positive integer, by base case we are giving one as one is an odd positive integer, then k equal to 1, then we substitute in this, we get the value 3. When if k equal to 3, we get the value 5. When k equal to uh, when k equal to 5, we get the value 7. Okay, so in this way, we write the recursive algorithm. Okay. Next one, here in this algorithm, here base case is this is the base case. F of 0 is the base case, and this is the general case. Okay. So we substitute f of 1, f of 2, f of 3 in this formula. We get these values. This is a recursive algorithm. Next, we move to the next slide. That is towers of Hanoi problem. So yesterday I already told you towers of Hanoi problem. Have some we have 3 towers, and from source tower contains some disks. So we move to the source tower, total number of disks to the destination tower by using another tower as a mediator. Okay, that is the towers of Hanoi problem. Already explained yesterday class. Six. Okay. So here the solution for this problem, towers of Hanoi problem is, first we move. Okay. First, what is the base case for this? So move one disk from source to destination is the base case, and general case is move n minus disk from source to intermediate needle is the general case. So for this problem, the solution is move n minus 1 disk from tower A to intermediate tower C. Okay, by using B as mediator. Okay. So first we have first step is to move the values, move disk n minus move n minus 1 disk from source tower A to intermediate tower C by using B as mediator. B as mediator. Then move one disk from source tower to destination tower B. Okay, from source tower to the destination tower B. Then move n minus 1 disk from intermediate. So from intermediate tower C to the destination tower B by using A as mediator. Okay. So in this way, you have to write the solution for this algorithm. First A to C by using B as mediator, then move A to B, disk one disk at a time from A to B, then move C to B by using A as mediator. Okay, clear? Just I am repeating yesterday class only. Anybody has any doubt? Please write a message. Don't write your names after your roll number. Don't give any space. Here 513. here remove your space, then only give permission to join 513 and 574 and some other names are there. I put them in waiting room. Just remove your name after your roll number. So I put them in waiting room 513, 504, 563, 566, 569, 574. Please remove your name after your roll number. Just write roll number only. Then only will allow you on to the class. The next move to the another example for recurrence algorithm, that is factorial program. So see here see factorial program. So if you writing algorithm for any program, just you have to any recursive algorithm, first you have to identify the what is the general case and what is the base case. Okay, so for the factorial program, all of know about the factorial program. If you want to calculate the 2 factorial, just have to do 1 into 2, that equal to 2 factorial. Then if you want to calculate 3 factorial, then 1 into 2 into 3, that equal to 6. Okay, so you all know about factorial program. So 3 factorial is calculated as 1 and 2 into 3, that is 6. So in this way, you have to calculate the factorial. So what if you want to write algorithm for this recursive algorithm for this problem? So what is the base case and what is the general case for this algorithm? What is the base case and what is the general case for this algorithm? What is the base case? So for this algorithm, the base case is fact of 0. Here the base case is if the fact of 0 is 1. I am taking here a factorial, that's why I call here as factorial of 0 equal to 1, then it is the base case. Okay, then if you want the general case is here, this is the general case, n into factorial of n minus 1 is the general case for this problem. So then you have to write the algorithm. First write the algorithm name, that is the algorithm name is factorial here. If the n value is 0, then return 1. because 0 factorial is 1, that's why we write the condition here. If n equal to 0, return 1. Otherwise, check the condition here. For example, I am taking the 3 value. So n equal to 3, this condition is false. Then we move here. So 3 into factorial of n minus 1, that is factorial of 2. Then the value of n is 2, then the value of n is 1, and finally we get the value 3 into 2 into 1, that equal to 6. So in this way, how to write the factorial program. You all know about the factorial program. You don't know what is the base case and general case. The base case is factorial of 0 equal to 1, and general case is n into factorial of n minus 1 is the general case. Base case is f of 0 equal to 1. Okay. Clear? Anybody has any doubt, please write a message. Next time move to the another recursive algorithm, that is Fibonacci series. So what is Fibonacci series? Okay. So the Fibonacci series for the numbers are as follows. So here we have only two numbers are there. One is 0 and another one is 1. Then just we add the two numbers, that is the series of next number. Then we add the previous two numbers, then that is the next number. Then add the previous two numbers, then we get the 5. So in this way we have to calculate the Fibonacci series. Okay. So just to write the algorithm for this program. So first initially we have the initial condition for this initial base case is already I told factorial of 0 equal to 1. In this algorithm, base case is what is the base case here? Fibonacci 0 equal to 0 and Fibonacci 1 equal to 1. That is the base case here. Okay. Remember Fibonacci 0 equal to 0 and Fibonacci 1 equal to 1. This is the base case. So what is the general case here? So general case here, f nothing but the formula fib of n equal to fib of n minus 1 plus fib of n minus 2. Okay, this is the general case here. Okay, this is the base case. So this is the base case and this is the general case. Just to write the algorithm, for example, if your n value is 2. Okay, so first we have to check the condition. First we have to check the condition that if n equal to 0 or n equal to 1, return n. If n equal to 0, return 0. If n equal to 1, it will return 1. I am taking here n value as 2. So here by substituting here 2 minus 1, 1 and 2 minus 2 is 0. So fib of 1 is 1 plus fib of 0 is 0. So the solution is 1. So in this manner, you have to calculate the Fibonacci series. So 0 plus 1. So if you want to calculate fib of 3, so same substitute fib of 3 minus 2. 2 fib of 2 is 1 and fib of 1 is 1. So the value is 2 here. Okay. So this is the general logic. I am writing only logic. I am writing only the logic of the program. Okay, in this way you have to write the Fibonacci series. So base case is fib of 0 equal to 1, fib of 1 equal to 1, and the general case is the formula fib of n equal to fib of n minus 1 plus fib of n minus 2. So these three are the recursive algorithm. One is towers of Haney problem, another one is factorial, and third one is Fibonacci series. Anybody has any doubt? Okay. Now we move to the next topic. Next topic in our first unit is performance analysis. So I already told you we have already explained in previous class. We have some problem. Okay. For that problem, we just write different algorithms is the solution for that problem. Okay. So which algorithm is best? How we know this algorithm A1 is best algorithm or A2 is best algorithm or AN is best algorithm? How we identify which algorithm is the best? So for this purpose, we have to calculate the performance analysis. Okay. So here performance analysis means performance analysis is an algorithm is said to be efficient and fast if it takes, for example, performance for an algorithm is said to be efficient and fast if it takes less time to execute and consumes less memory space, then we call it, this is the solution for that problem. Okay. So if the algorithm is said to be efficient and fast only if and only if it takes less time to execute and consumes less memory space. So that we call it as the solution for that problem. How we calculate the less time and less space by using the method performance analysis. Okay. So here performance analysis is classified into two categories, that is space complexity and time complexity. Okay, it is classified as two categories. One is space complexity and the time complexity. Space complexity means the minimum amount of memory space required by an algorithm during course of execution. Okay, during course of execution, we call it as space complexity, and time complexity means how much time it consumes to execute the program. Okay. Space complexity means the minimum amount of space required by an algorithm, and time complexity means how much time it requires to execute the program. Okay. So here how we calculate the space complexity. Okay. So what is space complexity? The amount of memory space required for that algorithm. So here in this, the algorithm generally requires space for these three things. One is instruction space, the another one is data space, and a third one is environmental space. So these three cases required for the algorithm for the space in the memory. So what is instruction phase? So here we have in instruction phase means instruction space means for writing program we have some executable programs are there. So those programs are those programs are stored in instruction space. Okay, executable programs are stored in instruction space, Then data space here, for data space store all constant and variable values. So here executable programs are stored in instruction space. Data space stores all constants and variable. Constant and variables are stored in data space. Then coming to the environmental space. So here environment space it is used to store the environmental information needed to resume the suspended functions. Okay, so suspended functions. See here, it is used to environmental space is used to store the information needed to resume the suspended functions. So what is suspended function? So a suspending function is simply a function that can be paused and resumed at a later time. Okay, so this function is paused and resumed later time. We call it a suspension function. So they can execute a long running operations and waiting for it to complete without blocking. Okay, so here for this we are using the for this type of environment space we are using the keyword suspend is used for this environmental space. Suspend functions we are using suspend. Okay, so that is about environmental space. Then the here the space complexity is calculated in two ways. One is constant space complexity and another one is linear space complexity. Okay, see here the complexity is space can be calculated in two ways. One is constant space complexity, another one is linear space complexity. So here what is constant space complexity means, here the algorithm requires fixed amount space for all input values, then we call it as a constant space complexity. Okay, so here it requires fixed amount of space for all inputs. Okay, only one. So for all inputs, it requires only one memory space, that we call it a constant space complexity. For this, see the example here. Okay, see example. For example, int square function name is square int a. Okay, so here in this return a star a. Okay, so this here we are using only one variable, that is a. So it requires fixed amount space. So it is 2 bytes. So it uses only 2 bytes for all the programs. So fixed amount space for the all input values. So it is, we call it as a constant space variability, constant space complexity. Okay, it requires only fixed amount of space for this input. Okay, clear? Next one is so next one is linear space complexity. So here linear space complexity means it shows the space needed for the algorithm. Okay, so linear space complexity, for example, see here. So here linear space needed for algorithm means, here constant means fixed size. Here different changes are there. So for this we are using the one of the example, that is, see here, for example, we are taking the variable n equal to one word, means it requires one word space, and we are taking any array values, it will take also one word space. So if we are taking any array, it will give n word space, because the array size is we are taking here n. And if you take any loop in the program, just I'm giving the, if any taking any loop, it will also show one word space. And if you are using, if you perform any sum function, it will also store one word space. Okay, why I am discussing all these things? Because I am explaining with an example how much space it requires for the algorithm. So see here, for example, I am writing the program, just logic for simple program, int sum, int of a comma int n. So for this type of functions, it will not take any memory. So here the memory is 0. It will not count any memory. Okay. Next, if you taking that function, see here, if int sum equal to 0 comma I, for initialization also it will not take any memory. I am telling for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So after writing the program, I will explain. So I'm just writing the small program, how we calculate the size of the array. To calculate the space. Okay. See here in this. Okay, see the program here. See example here. For this, it will not take any memory space. Okay. Then, for example, see here, for initialization, already variable declaration for n for some. Okay, here, so here it will take one value, one word plus. So initialization will not take any word. So here this is the for loop function. So it will take one value. Then here we are taking sorry, first see here in this first see here, this function, it will not take any memory. Okay. So this function, it will not take any memory. Also, see here in this function, it will not take any memory. So here for int a, it will take a value array as n, and n value is one word. So we get the value here 1 plus n, 1 for this int n. We are giving this n, n means one word. If array means it will calculate n. Okay, then we move to the so next we move to the for loop. So here for loop we have this, then what initializing declaration. Okay, then we see here in this we have one value for this looping. See here one for loop we give one value, another here we are using sum, then we use the another word. Okay, so here we are getting for is all of you see here for this array we are taking n, and int n we are taking one word. For loop we are taking one, and for sum we are taking one word. So total is 3 plus n. So it requires the memory space is n plus 3 space required for this program. Okay, understand, that is about linear space complexity. So because by linearly it will changes the space. Here we are using only one variable for that memory is sufficient for all the program. For here we are using different variables. So here the memory will linearly changes, so that memory is calculated in this way, that is t plus n. The memory space used for this program is 3 plus n, or n plus 3. Okay, clear? Next one, time complexity. So what is time complexity? Means the total amount required by an algorithm to complete its execution. We call it as a time complexity. So here also we have same constant time function, time complexity, and linear. So sorry, here I forgot to remove. So constant time complexity and a linear time complexity. Okay. So constant time complexity, linear time complexity. So here constant time complexity means if a program requires a fixed amount of time for all input values. So here under in space complexity, what is here it requires only fixed amount of space for all inputs. In time complexity, if the program requires fixed amount of time for all input values. Okay, here also we write the same example in previous, that is we are taking here two variables. In previous example we are taking one variable only, here we are taking two variables. Okay, so this is constant time complexity because this program requires fixed amount of time for all input values. Here we are giving two input values. It will take the fixed amount of time for the two input values. Now it is visible. The screen is visible. So anyone's give plus or In this way, we represent the constant time complexity, fixed amount of time for all input values. Here we are taking two input values. The time required for two input values is the fixed time only. Then coming to the linear time complexity. So here in this linear time complexity, input values are increasing, then the time complexity will change. Okay. If the input values are increasing rapidly, then the time complexity will also change rapidly according to the input values. Okay. So for this, we write example. So in same manner, if you use comments, it will take zero space. Comments zero space. Then then so here space no only it will take zero step. Then assignment statement, it will take for assignment statement it will take one step, and for condition statement, okay, for condition statement statements also it will take one step, means how we calculate the time complexity of this program. Okay. Then if we are taking loop, here we are taking loop condition for n times, so it will take uh, n plus 1 steps. It will take n plus 1 steps, because when n times it repeats, then again we will come and check, so that's why it need n plus 1 steps. Next we move to the body of loop. For body of the loop also repeated n steps. So loop condition repeat n plus 1 steps, and body of loop n steps. So for this I'm writing program, same program in the previous example I already told you, same int sum of int a of int a comma int n. Okay. Okay. Missing writing here. You are taking two variables, it is sum equal to 0 comma I. So for initialization it will not take any time. So for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, sum equal to sum plus a of I. Okay. So how much time it will require for this algorithm I am going to explain now. So see here, for this we have to calculate the cost, then repetition. If is in this example we have loop, so how many times it repetition, then we have to find the total. Okay. So for first line, so here in this example initialization for sum equal to 0, so it will take cost is 1, for repetition is also For repetition also 1. Okay, then total is 1 into 1 is 1. Okay. Then if you are taking see here, okay, see here in this I equal to 0 for initialization 1 plus I less than n, condition is 1 plus I plus plus. So here it will take 3 values. Then see here, if you for the for loop function, so for loop it will take 1 plus the completion of for loop is n plus 1. The ending of for loop is n plus the body of the for loop is n. Okay, so all these in repetition. So 1 for entering into the for loop and n for loop ending we are giving here. Okay. Okay, tomorrow I will explain this linear time complexity. Some students write my screen is not visible. So tomorrow I will explain today and the class. Tomorrow we will discuss the linear time complexity. Does anybody has any doubt? Please write a message in chat box. Thank you.